Hello, America. My name is Guy Calisi, and this is the Older Bulls podcast. Today, I'm going to do a little something different, something that I haven't done so far, but was in the original plan when I decided to do this whole goofy thing. And I'm going to wing it. And this is something that I know a lot about, and it's nothing that I want to script. I have been very good thus far. Thank you, David White, for that, about being PG-13. But this one may not be. And the reason I'm trying to keep it PG-13 is I'd like to be able to appeal to adolescent youngsters as well. And I don't know how you feel about profanity. I think that they're just words. And, sometimes there are some words that just cannot express the way you feel like some of the good four-letter ones, and that's the way I feel about it. I didn't start swearing, until I think I got married, which I don't know if that's a commentary on marriage or not. I didn't drink or swear until I met my wife, and she taught me how to do both like a sailor. So that being said, my topic today is on anger. And I think that anger really gets a bad rap, for being a negative emotion, the one that people are trying to stomp out. And you're trying to stomp it out everywhere, not just in men in general, because, right away, if you're an angry man, then you're aggressive and you've got all of those other negative connotations to it. I am angry all of the time. I think it was a line in one of the Marvel movies where they asked the Hulk or Dr. Bruce Banner, how did he control it? He said, "I'm angry all of the time now," and I am. I don't Hulk out. I don't get green on people. Anger to me is a good thing. It's a motivator. It motivates me. It gets me going. Most of the time I get angry at myself, and that creates all kinds of problems. But one of the things that has really helped me to understand my anger is that anger is really fear's bodyguard. So I ask myself when I get angry, what am I afraid of? And that really kind of helps me get to the root of it. And sometimes it's got nothing to do with fear, so I think it's a good rule if you're angry in an explosive way, and I'm angry in an explosive way all of the time, but I always say that that's passion. That's the way that I express myself. I've been married for 30 years, and my wife still, when I start talking like this, says, "You don't have to be so angry." And the two words that get me really angry are calm down. Calm down. Guy that I was working with the other day, I wanted to get to the point of something, and I didn't want to mess around with words, and so I am good at being clear and concise. I can talk circles around most people most of the time if I want to. And there's a time and a place for that. But when I want to get to the crux of the matter and just say, listen, just tell me what the deal is, I want to get to it right now. And he decided that he was going to play around with me a little bit. And, so I started amping it up a little bit, and he said, calm down, and I'm all for being Buddhist. I am. I think that it's a great thing. And, breathing techniques, fingers, like all of that. I am for that. There's an appropriate time and place for it. But, I'm tired of people telling me to calm down. What I think we need to start doing is getting these walking dead to get jacked up a little bit. Because there are too many people who are, "Oh, what's the big deal? Why are you so exercised? Why are you so excited about it?" You know what? I like to know that I'm alive. I like to feel my heartbeat. I like to know that I can get exercised. I don't have any issues with blood pressure, and maybe if I did, that would be a different story. I'm not overweight. I love getting jacked. I love getting pumped about stuff, but, not to the point where I'm going to start um, throttling people over it, or even giving people the finger. When I'm driving, I don't do that. If somebody's in front of me and they're driving slow, like an asshat, they're just driving slow, and I want to go a little bit faster, maybe even over the speed limit, God forbid. But let's say I do want to do that. When I pass them, and I've got a loud exhaust, on my car, and I've got a Jeep SRT8, first body style WX1, whatever it's called, and it's an angry sounding exhaust. Okay, so when I pass you, when I hit it and I pass you, people, it's so funny what they connect with an exhaust. They connect that with anger. I don't even look at the person when I pass them up because I've got nothing against that person. You're just getting in my way of doing what I want to do, and that's to go a little faster. When I drive, I'm not about just getting to point A and from point A to point B. That's not why I drive. I drive because I like it and it's fun to me. And that's why I like fast cars. I'm not talking about out of control. I just like to go fast. I do. I'm 54. I think I'm still in control of my body, so I still can see relatively well. So I don't take stupid chances, like a 20-year-old, the younger bulls. That's what they're put on the planet to do, to take chances, to take risks, to be stupid. I'm not that stupid anymore. I'm still stupid, but I'm not that stupid. But if you're in my way, I just want to get around you. That's it. Don't be angry at me. Don't give me the finger for passing you. I mean, just let me go. I'm so tired about everybody getting angry at angry people. Shouldn't we be angry at the sleepwalkers? The people who are not angry, who need a little shot of adrenaline every once in a while, and say, hey, man, be alive. And this is for you, Cooch. Say something. Do something. I'm just so tired of people just kind of walking through their lives, and none of it meaning anything. When I talk to my adolescents, and the one thing that they say to me, when they say this to me, it drives me absolutely crazy. Mr. Khaleesi, what's the big deal? Oh, what's the big deal? Where should I start? Okay, sit down. We're going to have a little conversation of what the big deal is. The big deal is that this is your life. And you're putting your name on everything you do, every reaction you have, every choice you make, everything you do, you're basically putting your signature on it. And that's what you're presenting to the world. How do you want to present to the world is what I say. Do you want to present to the world in a way like, oh, what's the big deal? The stereotypical blonde surfer in California. I'm not that kind of a guy, nor do I want to be. And I'm not going to fault for anybody for being that way either. I don't care if that's the way you are. Just make space for people who aren't that way. All of a sudden, people are intolerant of angry people. I know this for a fact, that there is no commandment that says thou shalt not be angry, and I'm pretty sure that there's nothing in the Constitution of the United States that says you do not have the right to be angry or offend other people. I have the right to offend anybody I want. But more than that, you have the right to be offended. Everybody has the right to be offended. And if you're offended by my anger, deal with it. Deal with it. Why do I always have to deal with people who are, just, oh, hey, calm down? I think it goes back to what we grew up with. I look at my wife and myself, and, I grew up in a family, not on my mom's side because she was gentle. But on my dad's side, everybody was loud and everybody was jockeying for position, to be heard. And the louder you were, the more likely it was that you got heard. And I just picked that up and I liked it. And I've been angry since I can remember. I mean, my parents got divorced when I was 3. Like I said, boo-hoo, all of that stuff. But I was angry. I was angry at my parents. I was an angry young man, and so but it's a part of me, and it's just about how we use it. If you're going to go off half-cocked with the anger, I don't support that. I really don't. But I was talking about my wife. She grew up in a household where her dad, my father-in-law, everything I'm not. He's peaceful man, calm, he thinks things out, and he goes for that whole, oh, I'm going to choose my battles. Do you know what I say? And what I said probably until like 5 years ago, I'm going to choose my battles. I'm going to choose all of them and I'm going to win them. And that got in the way of my development, and it's a terrible thing, because when I get like this, people who are like my wife turn me off right away. So there's no way that I can make a connection with them, because all they see is the anger. That's all they see. And they can't get past that. And that's debilitating to me, especially if I have a message that I really want to get out there and I want to get across to people. If I have that message, I want to calm it down just a little bit and try to say what I need to say in a way that the audience, know your audience, right? The audience that you're speaking to can relate to. And that's been hard for me. It really is. And I've lost a lot of people, and people have gotten the wrong impression about me because of the way that I come off. But it's all about intent, I think, right? I mean, do you mean to offend? And if I do my best. I do my best to say that I'm sorry. Had no idea that that was going to be upsetting to you. I'm sorry. But also I want to say, get over it. Get over it. I'm going to go back to this one more time. I'm sick and tired of people feeling like they do not have the right to be offended. Nobody has that right not to be offended. That is what made this country great. That we had so many people in this country, a melting pot like no other country in the world, where all of these cultures come together. How can we not constantly step on each other's toes and offend each other? I mean, it's like world religions, right? All of them think that their views are gospel, no pun intended. But I mean, how can they all be right? How can their views be right? And the same thing with cultures in our country. Everybody looks at things differently. And so if I don't look at it that way, and I haven't reached, that place of self-actualization, where I can't just let things roll over me, well, I'm going to be a little offended. But what I do is I usually have a knee-jerk reaction to something. Like I remember my mother-in-law, my boss for a long time, she would say something to me that I already knew, something that I didn't do, I should have done. And as soon as she said it, I got jacked up right away, because nobody can be a bigger judge of me than me. I am the worst on myself. I'm a 10th degree black belt, beating myself up about stuff that I should have done. I have high expectations for myself, and sometimes unrealistic expectations. But it gets me into trouble, and that keys the anger. But as I've gotten older, I know I step back and I say, she's totally right. She was totally right about that. I was an idiot, coming off that way. It's not what I meant. So now it takes two, right? It takes two to tango on this. I go back and I apologize and I say, you know what? I was wrong. You were totally right. I just want you to know why I reacted that way, so that you understand. I was already ticked off at myself for not doing something that I should have done. You reminded me how angry I was at myself. So this whole anger thing, coming full circle again, is really an incredible thing. I don't know how many of you are okay with anger, but I think we should be a whole lot better with it. I mean, you look at yourself, and first of all, you have to be forgiving of yourself. If you're an angry person, I think the first thing you need to do is figure out why. That took a lot of soul searching for me. I'm not really sure, but my anger doesn't usually end up, like I said, turning into a hulking out kind of an anger where I just want to rip people's throats out. That's not what it is, but it's a driving force. It's what keeps me going. But I'm not so angry that I'm going to steamroll people, because of the way that I view things. It's not that kind of a thing. I think about things all the time. And is that the way that I want to see it? You know, am I so stuck in my ways that I have to see it that way, that there is no way? No, I've gotten much more open-minded about it. And I think that we need to be that way, especially in the times that we're going through right now. I think a lot of people are losing their minds. You know, I mean, I don't care where you are in the socioeconomic strata. I mean, everybody, this is a time that we've never really experienced before. My phones are ringing. Excuse me about that. Um, but anger is an okay thing as long as you can harness it. I really believe that. But I do believe that more people should get angry more often. I think it's a good thing. I think, you know, having your blood boil and saying the things that you need to say when they need to be said is important. Because if you're going to be one of those lemmings, INGS, that are following all the other lemmings off the cliff because they don't know what's, you know, 100 yards in front of them, well, you deserve the fate that you get. I'm not going to be one of those people. I don't want to be, and I don't have to be. I can create my own space. And if the world or my country or my wife or my family or my inner circle isn't comfortable with that, then they don't have my best interests at heart. They really don't. Get over your big bad selves and accept people for who they are. If you feel that they need a tweak and you're close enough to them to do that for them or to help them with it and they will listen, then do it. Like, guy, hey, dude, you're like, you know, you're getting a little angry about this and these people are not going to respond well to that. Well, that's good. That's a good bit of information. You know, I put that in, I process it, either I use it or I don't. I'm not going to, like I said, bulldoze people in situations like that. So this whole thing about anger, I mean, I am so fascinated by how other people feel about it. But I think we need more, folks. I really do. I think you need to find your inner Hulk, and you need to harness it somehow and use it when you need to use it. And again, going back to that, you know, anger is fear's bodyguard. That means it protects you from things that you're scared of, right? And that fight or flight thing comes out. And I'm a fighter. You know, I just talked to somebody that I was working out with the other day. I said, I don't think I've ever run a mile in my life. Why the hell would I ever run a mile for for entertainment, for exercise? Why would I do that? My whole life I've spent running 90 feet at a time and then a trot for a home run occasionally. But I am never going to run. We don't need to run after herds anymore. I get it. You people who do it because, you know, you need it. It's the dopamine, it's the adrenaline, whatever you guys get out of it. I get it, but I'm not that. I don't need that. I don't need that kind of, you know, exercise in my life for running like that. There was a line in the Warriors movie, along the Warriors come out and play. That whole movie, it was one of the greatest. I think Ajax was the guy. He was with another guy in the movie saying, the kid said to him, I can't run anymore. I can't run anymore. He said, are you sure? He turned around. He said, good, because I'm tired of running from these pussies. And he turned around and then they just fought. So, you know, unless you have a reason to run, I'm not sure, you know, why you would choose to run. Don't run from your anger is what I'm trying to say. Really don't. You know, embrace it, figure out where it's coming from, and don't be afraid of it. And don't, please don't look at other people like they're crazy because they're passionate or they're angry about something. You know, just take it in. Don't be one of the walking dead. America, that's the way I see it. And I'm sticking to it as usual. See you next time.